Welcome back to our series on Regretful Parents. I'm Erica.
And I'm Kristen.
And today we have an episode about my favorite topic, breastfeeding.
Great.
Kristen, because you and I have talked about the fact that we both at some point thought we were going to have children, did you ever give any thought to if you would be a breastfeeder or not a breastfeeder?
It has not really crossed my mind, to be honest. I was actually a formula baby, and I survived.
I was too.
So I think we've talked about this once a really long time ago, but I forgot that you were.
Yeah.
Look at us. We're normal.
We're not alarming at all. Everyone watching this right now is like, fuck, I gotta have kids and I gotta breastfeed.
What about you? Were you anti-breastfeeding?
I was anti-breastfeeding just because I know it's natural and I know it's probably the right thing to do for your children, but I can't stand these people. It's like an irrational hate of mine. I can't stand these people who want to breastfeed anywhere in the world and they're like, everyone should tolerate it. It's natural. My baby is eating. Look at my breast. It's fine. I'm like, I'm so squeamish about that stuff that I'm like, I don't want to feed a living thing with my fucking body. I hate that.
You know, it's one of those things where it's like women supporting women. Like, you know, you have to keep your baby alive. So, like, I do support you breastfeeding. But, like, put, like, a blanket over it, man. I don't need to see your fucking tit out. Like, I don't. It's just, like, uncomfortable for me.
I know.
It's just kind of weird because then you're, like, trying to, like, not look. But, it's what's going on over there?
Am I supposed to be making an effort to not look? Or do you want me to just act normal? I don't know how to act normal. I was born in America.
Here, shitting is also natural, but we don't do it in front of each other. So we wait or we cover it up somehow.
Do it in a place that's private. Maybe you're making an argument that we should all just be shitting out in public all the time. The post that we're reading today comes from Reddit. And the subject line said, I hate breastfeeding.
This is the Regretful Parents subreddit, I take it?
Yes. Thank you for calling that out. All right. She says, I really, in all caps, wish I did more research on breastfeeding before I gave birth. I wish women talked more about how bad it sucks. My son was born a month early due to my amniotic fluid being gone. Already there. I don't know what the fuck amniotic
fluid is.
Where
did it go?
Where did it go? Why is it gone?
That's the juice that the baby lives in, by the way, right? Isn't that the amniotic fluid in the womb?
I suppose.
Where is it gone?
Why doesn't it get refreshed?
Are
they sitting in the same juice for 9 months?
Animaniacs?
Yeah, great questions. We got to get to the bottom of this. She said, he was formula fed for his first month because I had absolutely no milk. And they told me he couldn't latch, well, due to being a preemie. Again, things you don't fucking ever hear.
Yeah.
She continues, well, I kept pumping, and eventually I was able to put milk in a bottle for him. And then months later, I was able to nurse him. Eventually, he started to refuse the formula and bottles from me. He would only take them from his dad. But I was a stay-at-home mom at the time, so it was hard. I couldn't produce enough milk, and he would just be hungry and cranky all the time. Well, I ended up going back to my job because I couldn't stand being a stay-at-home mom. I felt like I was the only one taking care of my baby because my partner was working 2 jobs. Going back to work helped a lot. I only worked 3 days a week and my partner was able to work 1 job. My son was taking bottles well, so I would nurse him while I was off work, and while I went to work, could get a good break. Ugh, this part gives me the shivers. I would put on that nipple ointment.
Yeah.
God, I don't want to rub ointment on my nipples.
Yeah.
Whew. And she said, and it would help, and I was able to drink an energy drink, which I love. I don't understand what's going on anymore.
Why can't you just drink an energy drink without breastfeeding and enjoy that too? Why are they interconnected like that?
No clues. She doesn't give us any context clues. She assumes that we should all know, even though she started this by saying, I don't know anything about breastfeeding.
She's like, and you get to drink a Gatorade while you do it. It's the law. Like, what?
Everyone knows energy drinks help your breasts.
Weird.
Yeah, she said, my partner was able to find a new job quickly that's even better. It's a 9 to 5 job, which I like because he is so much more helpful with the baby because before he worked graveyard and would sleep all day. I was able to find a new job and I told my new job I had open availability because my mom said she would watch the baby while I work. This is so long and rambling. If
Mm-hmm.
I had to work on a day that my partner would work. Well, my mom had a stroke and is not able to help at all.
No.
Yes, I had to quit my job and it sucks. I'm back to being a stay at home mom. I'm trying to find another job because it's hard and I have little availability. We can't really afford childcare right now. My son will only nurse now. I get no break from it. He doesn't even like solid foods that much, and he's turning a year next month. He uses nursing as a comfort and his way to sleep and still wakes up at night to nurse. I want to wean so badly, but it is so difficult. I told myself today I wouldn't breastfeed, but I had to go to my mom's because I take care of her a lot of the time now, and our laundry machine broke. So I go
Oh my
to
God.
their
What is
house
this woman's
to
fucking
use
train of
theirs.
thought? She's got the worst ADHD I've ever heard. Worse than us. You know what? She was probably a fucking formula baby. That's what happened.
Do you think
bet
there's a
you.
link between ADHD and formula?
Maybe. Something weird.
Probably not, because I think that my family has ADHD and
My
they
mom
probably
also
were
has
breastfed.
it. I did Google it for the
Um,
record. The American Academy of Pediatrics and the World Health Organization support the recommendation that you should breastfeed for at least the first 6 months of a baby's life and ideally for 2 years or longer.
2 years?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I always think of that Game of Thrones character where that woman's like breastfeeding her kid and the kid's like a fucking practically an adult. You know, like you can keep producing milk for as long as you want.
Well, it sounds
Fucking
like this lady can barely
disgusting.
produce anything.
Well, yeah.
Okay, so her laundry machine is broken, so she has to go take care of her mom who has a stroke. Their laundry machine's broken, so she has to go there also to do her laundry. Then she says, it was so awful. It's summer here, and my parents are old Mexicans who don't believe in AC. This is your nightmare. It's summer, it's hot. You have
No,
to
I
breastfeed,
I
and
would
there's no AC.
just buy new clothes every time I wore mine.
I honestly feel like in that situation, I would be like, I am so sorry to my immigrant family. I am breastfeeding. I am angry. I would say we have to put the AC on, or my breasts are literally going to fall off. House
Yes.
feels terrible, and my son was screaming and crying. He hurt his finger and was crying a lot, so
What?
I gave in.
Then she's just going on a random tangent about one single day where her kid's finger hurts.
Yes.
What does it have to do with boobs?
Well, she was trying to wean him, but he was crying so much that she had to give in. So very thankful that my mom is so much better after her stroke, but I had to take her to her appointment the other day, and I have to admit, it wasn't fun.
Yeah.
This really is like 20 different things that she's regretting about parenting,
Yeah.
but she started it with breastfeeding, and I do think it ends with breastfeeding because I'm seeing a lot of breastfeeding coming up. Getting the walker and stroller out of the car sucked.
No.
I have
hate
horrible anemia, and remember, it's hot.
Yeah.
I have horrible anemia from my pregnancy, so I am always weak and tired and have awful brain fog. I hate breastfeeding. I wish I never did. To be honest, I wouldn't really consider myself a regretful parent because I love my son and I do enjoy motherhood. Interesting, though, that you're on the Regretful Parents sub. How'd you find it? How'd you learn about it?
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm sure there's probably like a parenting sub where you can complain about breastfeeding.
Totally. I'm sure there's a breastfeeding sub.
Totally.
But breastfeeding sucks the joy out of motherhood, in my opinion. I'm sorry if this isn't my place to post. I just want to vent my frustrations, and I feel like if I posted in one of those mommy or breastfeeding groups, I'd probably just get mom shamed. Already saying something.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even feel a bond with my son when he breastfeeds, which I'm so glad she said that because I do feel like I would be creeped the fuck out breastfeeding somebody. I am able to bond with him in many other ways, but breastfeeding just makes me feel like an object or a prisoner.
Or a cow.
Or a cow, which I know there's going to be a vegan who's like, it's nature, but I'm sorry. I don't want to feel like an animal.
Yeah, it's kind of like a livestock.
She said, sorry if some of this doesn't make sense since I suffer from mental illness.
Oh, couldn't tell.
What a time. What a time to throw that in. But thanks. But thanks for reading it if you did.
Yeah. So I just want to recap. She couldn't breastfeed. Now all she does is breastfeed. Her kid's finger hurt, so she had to breastfeed again. Her mom had a stroke. She doesn't like to carry things. Oh, she had low iron deficiency at one point, and during the breastfeeding makes it harder. Anyway, her life is hard. She's not regretful, but she's a little bit regretful sometimes. And she doesn't really like the mommy blogs. And now she doesn't like breastfeeding.
I like that she's like, I really
and she's mentally
don't.
ill. And she's mentally ill.
I like that she's like, guys, I really don't mind being a mom. I am not regretful. I love it. My life fucking sucks in every way because I had this baby. But I don't regret it.
Damn,
oh
dude.
my God.
Damn, dude.
So funny.
I fucking feel bad for her, and that sucks.
Yeah. Okay, can I read some of these comments?
Yeah.
Every time he cries and you nurse him, then you reinforce the behavior. I cry equals nursing. I cry, but she doesn't give in, so I cry longer, so she gives in. Kids aren't dumb. Weaning is going to suck a lot, but if that's his comfort, you just have to be okay with the fact that you're going to have a few rough days or weeks ahead of you.
So still getting feedback. She probably didn't want feedback, but...
No, she's explicitly said she didn't want feedback.
Yeah.
Good
Not
ones.
wrong, though.
Not
I mean,
really.
like, you know?
I read that because I hate that that's true. That you just, you have to go through breastfeeding and then you have to go through another phase where you're trying to not breastfeed. And that's horrible. Yeah. This is a lose-lose.
So what you're saying, Erica, is that having kids is hard.
Yes. One of the other comments said, I highly recommend the book Lactivism. It helped me come to peace with stopping breastfeeding. The research shows the benefits are marginal compared to formula in places with access to clean drinking water. Yes!
We are on top. We are on top.
Normal!
We are going to Harvard.
My God.
Wow. Man, the arc of this one regretful parenting post. Whew.
Don't you hate thinking about the fact that your boobs could produce boob juice?
I mean, it's also weird that men have nipples, you know, because they used to be women before they became men. And it's like, wow, you almost breastfeeded, you know?
I wonder if there's anything that you could do to a man to make him breastfeed. I mean, like, to make his breasts produce
I don't know
milk.
if his glands are formed or not. Maybe they're not.
I wonder if there's anything you could do.
Maybe.
We got to get these men in there producing milk.
All right. Well, thanks for listening and watching.
Yeah, thanks for listening.
This is a YouTube series.
This is a YouTube series, but if you enjoyed this, you can always listen to our podcast in which we talk about more regretful parent stuff. We talk about being child-free. We talk about women's issues. We talk about reproductive rights. We talked about all kinds of shit. So come find us.
Love ya.